All right, hello everybody. It's meteorologist Hutch Johnson. We have some storms popping in the western part of the Dakotas and the big sky country of Montana. I'll have an update on our forecast as we close out the work week and head into the weekend. Those storms are heading our way. I'll have details on the risk for strong to severe storms as we head out to Friday and close out your work week. It's all coming up right now. You're watching Hutch's Weather.
Now, a Hutch's weather update with Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson, brought to you by Robert Gibb and Sons.
All right, we're going to get started right away with the hour-by-hour forecast. We do have storms in northeast Montana moving into southern parts of Manitoba and Saskatchewan. This winds its way back into the central part of North Dakota and heading in towards Bismarck and Minot at this time. Now, the storm forecast is that the risk for severe should be waning now as we head into the deep overnight hours, and that's not a bad thing. But what we will notice with regard to these storms as they work their way off to the east overnight is they're going to mainly stay in the central part of the state and not impact our area until we get to much later in time. So let's go ahead and walk through the storm progression as we go through the overnight hours. Let me make sure we are looking at the right content here. Okay, here we go. I don't know what's okay. I don't know why it says 4 a.m. I asked it not to load that early of a time frame here. Let me just go ahead and let this load all the way up. So the showers and thunderstorms out west tonight, a few of them could still be strong to severe gusty winds, and some large hail potential will be with those storms. Now, as we go into the day tomorrow, the whole storm package will make its way off to the east, and we're going to have wide variety of temperatures across the area because ahead of this cold front, before it moves through, we'll have some of us kissing 90 degrees. Once again, hot and very gusty out of the south. But on the backside of the storm system, it will be significantly cooler, and under the rain showers, cooler still with some 60s and some 70s there. So as is always the case with Hutch's Weather, please drop me a note. Let me know where you're watching from. And if you have a question, you can pop that in the details as well, as I'm looking for that right now as we're waiting for my hour-by-hour forecast to load up here. Here we go. Let's start out at the basics as we go into the Friday morning time frame. Notice the shower and thunder shower activity as we head towards about midnight to 3 a.m. will be in the central Dakotas. Locally heavy rain. It does not extend all the way down into South Dakota, though, on this particular model. Now, as we set this into motion and head into the morning hours, there could be a few of us in the Devil's Lake Basin that feel the impact of a few showers and rumbles of thunder. Again, some of these showers and thunderstorms could bring some gusty winds, but because they're moving in an area where the gusty winds from the south, even without the thunderstorms, was over 40 miles per hour. So these storms could create bursts of wind over 50 miles per hour in isolated spots. Locally heavy rain, and again, they're going to be hit and miss. Not all of these models do a concise job of depicting exactly where any individual thunderstorm will be, and that is why you can't really rely on the precise location of these storms on these models as you're looking at them moving through. Now, by around 10 to 11 in the morning, mid-morning, we'll start to see some redeveloping storms here in the Red River Valley, here in western parts of Minnesota. I anticipate gusty south winds to take hold. These south winds, before the storms get here, are going to allow the afternoon temperatures in the Southern Valley and even into west central parts of Minnesota to rise well up into the 80s to near 90 degrees. Once again, that does include Grand Forks. It includes Thief River Falls. So many of us seeing the heat of the day. Bemidji, Babe the Blue Ox, you too will see that nice warm weather out there for the day. On this side of the system here, it will be significantly cooler with regards to the showers that will be moving through as well. So we'll continue to step these through as we go through the midday hour and into the afternoon. The scattered showers and thunderstorms appear to become more widespread here, but I still think we're going to have individual thunderstorms passing through. Some of us are going to get zilch and nada, while our neighbors in the other side of the county or even the other side of the town will get significantly heavier rain because of the thunder showers. Look at the timing when this is moving through eastern North Dakota. Langdon, Walhalla, Cavalier on the Highway 5 corridor right through the Mayville area and Portland all the way out to Cooperstown. These storms will be afternoon burners, and that's right in the heat of the day when our temperatures reach peak. And that is why I think any one of these storms could pop up to be isolated severe. So I think a few of us could see strong to severe storms. Hail, damaging straight line wind will be the main threat as these move through. When do they get to Grand Forks and Fargo? Let's check that out as we continue to step through in time. Notice them arriving in the Northern Valley first, Grand Forks up towards Pembina and into Hallock and Kennedy in Kitson County. Then as we head into the mid-evening hours after dinner, that's when the chances increase in Fargo and the Southern Valley for showers and storms. Now, as we go into the later night hours, it does appear to me that we'll start to lose some of the energy of these storms. They won't be as widespread, so not all of us are going to see heavy rain, but the rainfall potential is going to be anywhere from zilch nada all the way up to an inch or so of rain underneath the gully washers. And in particularly if you get more than one thunderstorm to move through your area. So keep in mind, tomorrow's going to be a good chance of rain here in the Red River Valley and parts of northwest Minnesota, with some spots picking up a ½ inch to an inch of rain, but many of us measuring more, around 1/10 of an inch of rain, because of the hit and miss variety and nature of thunderstorms. So now let's take a peek at your hour-by-hour forecast, shall we, in the Northern Plains first. Let's get to it. We're going to start with a look at what's going on with your morning temperatures. And whoop, where did they go? I don't know why we're on this one here. Let me see. What am I doing? Let's go to this one. Okay, so here we go. Friday morning, the temperatures will be muggy and warm. Clouds building in, a few showers, maybe rumbles of thunder in the Devil's Lake Basin and points west. Gusty south winds ahead of the storm. Look at the cool pool spilling into the western Dakotas and the oil patch out there to start your day. Now, as we head into the latter part of the day, let me see if I can move this back. The afternoon temperatures. Notice the cooler pool here in reds, where we'll have 70s under the showers and thunderstorms that form at 5 o'clock. They're not moving through Fargo till later. So Fargo, Grand Forks, Crookston, Boston, all the way through Ada, Mahnomen, Detroit Lakes, and Fergus Falls will have a decent chance at seeing those temperatures soaring all the way up to near 90 degrees again. And those gusty winds, they'll be a bugger. Your hair, use a lot of hairspray. This is a bad time, but a good time. I'm going to go ahead and recommend this. North Dakota Super Duper Hold. It's really good, and it holds Hutch's hair just fine, but it doesn't taste good. With that, let's look at the planning forecast moving forward. After a hot day on your Friday, it looks like we're going... Once again, I'm pulling up an older forecast model here. Oh, I know why. Here, I moved the wrong way. There we go. 90 degrees on Friday. It will be a hot one in Fargo, but after that, we drop it down to an 81-degree day. Some scattered morning showers and storms on the Minnesota side of the river, but most of us see sunshine aplenty and some pleasant temperatures, but still way above average. Sunday and Monday and Tuesday, we're back in the mid-80s, folks, with spotty showers late Sunday. And then the best chance of rain on the extended forecast appears to be Tuesday into Wednesday, and we'll go from those 80s to the mid-70s briefly, as we could have a wet day, particularly Tuesday night late into Wednesday morning as we go through your extended forecast. So that's a look at that. Now we're going to go ahead and change tunes and go right back to a look at the radar information here with these storms. So let's go right back to what's going on out across parts of the western Dakotas with these storms. Here we go. We're looking at Glasgow, Montana right now on the radar, and then we'll sneak over into, well, let me go load up the Bismarck radar. The storms are moving in that general direction there. Let me see here. Here we go. And let's see if, I'm having troubles loading my radar again, and I don't know why. So I'm just going to load up the National Composite Radar here. That'll do the trick. Here we go. Okay. There it is. All right. So now as we take a look at what's going on, I'll go ahead and put this right behind me now. Now you can see the line of showers and thunderstorms are working their way right into the Minot area as we are doing this broadcast on hutchesweather.com and right here on Facebook and on YouTube. Mohall, Minot. Now this backward C shape means there's some wind associated with these storms, but I want you to keep in mind these individual thunderstorm cells are moving more northerly like this. But the whole line that you see drawn here from Mohall all the way down into Bison and Faith, that whole line is slowly advancing off to the east. So it's taken a good couple of hours to move from, say, near Dickinson out into near Bismarck, and that's where it is. So these storms are going to continue to work their way eastward as we go through the overnight hours. As we take a look at some of the storms here, I'm going to go ahead and turn on the details with regards to how strong a couple of these puppies are out there. And let me see if I can do that. Okay, let's go right to this one. Let's see if I can load up a single site radar here now. And again, I don't know, I must be doing something wrong. I'm going to have to confide in the directions for this stuff, but maybe I just need to close this up just a little bit, because I sure should be able to look at the radars here at different spots. Okay, we do have severe thunderstorm warning down in South Dakota. And for whatever reason, this radar is just not cooperating. So I'm going to go back to the composite radar here. And I will show you the movement of these storms is to the north and to the east. And the severity of the storms moving into Minot is not severe, but they could be windy because, as we spoke of, 45-mile-per-hour environmental winds, and the storms could burp out some wind faster than that. So if you are in Minot, Mulhall, these storms could have localized areas that do have wind gusts over 50 miles per hour. So batten down the furniture. The wind gusts should generally be coming from the south or southwest with the movement of these storms, moving toward the north or northeast. So that's where they are. They're a long ways away from the Bismarck area. We do have a couple of measured storm reports here. Let me go ahead and see if I can click on those for you. Local storm report in the Lemon, a thunderstorm wind gust of 55 miles per hour. That's just below severe criteria. Severe criteria is 58 miles per hour, but that was what was measured at a local station. Here's a 50-mile-per-hour wind gust that was recorded out there 7 miles south of Shade Hill as those storms move through. So there is some potent winds with them. And look at these puppies barking their way out of the Black Hills, heading in toward the I-90 corridor and points north of I-90. And these storms are ripping through the plains, 3/4 inch diameter hail. And there is the threat for some gusty winds upwards of 60 mile per hour from those particular storms as they're working their way off to the north and to the east. So these storms are going to stay out to the east. This is where they are now. These storms out in Montana are starting to fizzle just a little bit. There is a little bit of a storm out in the Glasgow area right now, and that's what's going on there. So that's a look at your local forecast, your local weather. Let me see if I do have some questions locally. Bonnie, thank you for sharing. You can always help Hutch out by sharing that I'm on here. And I do apologize for all of my fun graphical issues that I've been having here lately, but this new software is not bad. It's just taking me a time to learn. So teaching this old dog a new trick once in a while has been a challenge, but that's okay. Let's put on your surface measurement of temperatures so you can see the difference in temperatures across the region from one side of this storm system to the other. Here we go with a look at air temperatures. And what you're going to notice is on the warm side of this system, we have gusty south winds continuing 70 to 80 degrees in Grand Forks and Fargo right now. It's going to be a muggy night. Dew point temperatures that also would indicate some humidity in the air as well. I'll show you that in a second. Here's where the rain-cooled air is, moving out towards Beulah, Hazen, Dickinson, Richardson, Taylor, on out towards Beach. Look at Miles City and Glendive after storms did rip through Glendive. They were severe just south of town. You're in the 50s out there, folks. So things have really cooled down. And look at what's on the doorstep in Minot right now, 79 degrees. It's really hot up there in the Minot and out at the airbase, right north of town, 79 up there. But then as this blowy storm moves through, you're going to see temperatures sliding away about 13 degrees in the next 1 hour. Mark Hutch's words. It's going to get chilly. And that's no lie. So the way things are looking, there we go with your temperatures. I think we have an error on the instrument here in the Linton-Strasburg area. It's not 32 degrees right now. Maybe somebody's packing some snow around the instrumentation package there, but I do want to point out the dew point temperatures. This is critical with regards to how severe the storms may be as we go into the day tomorrow. Notice dew points, generally this time of the year, 50s is not uncommon. With all the wind that we've had, our dew points are in the 50s and low 60s. It's not ridiculously high dew points here. Where are the higher dew points as we sneak out just a little bit? There are no dew points that are in the 60s. Why? We are cut off. The Gulf is closed for business because this thing down here called Francine is sucking all those high dew points and wrapping them back around in Springfield, Missouri, Memphis, Tennessee, and down in parts of Alabama tonight. So this system is locking up the 70-degree dew points and swirling them around itself and locking up the 70-degree dew points from our area. That's where our moisture comes from, is the Gulf of Mexico, and it's closed for business now. That means these storms, as they move into this area overnight, are not going to have an abundant amount of moisture to work with, but a modest amount of moisture to work with. And likewise, it will likely be similar tomorrow. A few strong storms are possible. Look at the dew points out in the big sky country of Montana. Baker, 46 dry degrees. That's extremely dry air, but you think that's dry. Look at what's going on down here when we get into the mountains of Rock Springs, Wyoming, Cheyenne, Wyoming, Laramie. All of these dew points are in the teens and 20s outside of Denver. Can you believe that? That's how dry the air is outside. That's what's going to be sweeping through. It'll be a refreshing change for you. Let me see if there's some questions here, and then if not, we'll move on. Good evening, everybody. Rita, good to see you. Bonnie, thank you so much. Any idea what time the northern lights would be best to see if it's not cloudy? Let's go ahead and check on the clouds for you there. That's a wonderful question. We're going to pull up the Northern Plains satellite view here. And what I want to point out is that these thunderstorms are the cloud event, and we're staying clear here in the valley. So if you are anywhere from the James River Valley into the Red River Valley and on into Minnesota and eastern South Dakota, then it's good looking as far as seeing stars in the sky. And also, we've rid ourselves of some of the smoke in the atmosphere as well over the last 24 hours. That's all out in Montana throughout the day today. It was a very beautiful blue sky out there. So what I'm doing now is I'm looking up information because you asked on the aurora, and I want to see what the immediate levels are right now. I'm going to take a look here and see what I can find out with regards to these levels. I'm seeing very active aurora right now, and so there is a chance of the aurora tonight in the northern plains. Oh my goodness, I'm seeing good numbers here, folks. So there is a good chance of the aurora tonight. I will say that, the way things are looking. And now I'm going to take a peek and see if I can pull up just a minute now. This is a special surprise for you. You're going to love this. There is a camera up in Grand Forks here. And let me just see if I can see the dual camera and see if it's on tonight. So it says it's live. Ooh, that's very fancy. I like live. Okay. All right, so this is showing me I'm seeing northern lights up there. So I'm going to confirm right now we have northern lights in Grand Forks. I'll show you what we're seeing. It's a little bit faint to see. Do you want to see it? Pop a yes or a like on there if you want to see the northern lights. Let me know too. I think I'm streaming on the old national channel as well, so hopefully you guys are watching from different parts of the country. Terry, thanks for watching. Good to have you on board. Getting pretty dry out there, and you could use some rain. There's some coming in the northern plains. Watching from Fargo-Moorhead. Good to have you all on. If you're interested in seeing the northern lights, let me show you what I can show you. The University of North Dakota, outstanding meteorology school up there. It's north on I-29 in Grand Forks, North Dakota, and they have a dual aurora cameras set up, and those puppies are already looking and seeing, and they got them turned on tonight, and I'm seeing some color in the sky. So let me see if I can make this big. It's going to take a little adjustment on my screen here, so if you'll bear with me, we're going to pop this puppy up here right now. So what you're looking at is the UND dual aurora cameras. You can go to this site by searching for the aurora camera. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to put the link in all of my streams right now. So you can search on YouTube for North Dakota dual aurora camera right here, and you'll see the live stream, and it's live right now. Would love for you to go. I can see right now that there's 18 people that have liked the stream tonight, and there's a number watching, and there's some color, this faint color right now, but these cameras are sensing. You can see the beautiful stars out there associated with this. Let me see if I can lower that on your screen just a little bit so you can get a better view of it. There it is. So this is out there looking, and you can see the colors on the camera right now. So I do believe we have the aurora going on in the northern reaches of the Red River Valley right now. The numbers look good. I just looked at them. I am looking at the KP index. It's hitting 5. That's pretty active. That's a high number. That means we could even see it in some of our southern counties into South Dakota tonight with numbers that are like that. And there's another thing, that's a magnetic field of the solar wind that's coming in is negative, and that's a very good thing. So that's a good question. I hope this answered your question. We got northern lights out there, it looks like, and it's fantastic. If you have photos, I'd love to have you upload them at hutchesweather.com. Hutchesweather.com, you can find the latest right here. Go to hutchesweather.com, scroll down to the bottom of the page down here, click on your photos, and you'll see, because I'm clicking on it right now, that I've already got some fantastic photos from last night's event that was just magnificent in Twin Valley, Minnesota. I got Minot photos, so thank you. You can log on to hutchesweather.com and share your photos there. I sure would appreciate it, and I hope that covers your questions. Now back to what's going on right now. Dry air out to the west behind the cold front that's moving through. This is going to bring some thunderstorms to the valley tomorrow. We went through the forecast there. I think I've covered your questions. Let me go ahead and look and see if there's any more before I wrap this one up. And then we'll get back to the coverage of a couple of the thunderstorms that are heading in toward the Minot area. Everybody says yes, yes, yes. Everybody wanted to see I'm glad we got to see the Northern Lights together. Now, I will say this, when you were looking at the stream that I was showing you, it's a live stream from UND, and I'm going to pop that puppy back up there again unless I lost it. No, I couldn't have lost it. How could Hutch lose something so quickly? No, I didn't lose it. Here it is. Okay, so we'll pop this back up because I think it's worth referencing. If you're shooting photos of the Northern Lights, it can be a little bit of a challenge out there, and this camera is showing it because it is trained on it, and it's north of town, away from the city lights. So you want to get, I say north of town. Why go north of town? I don't care if you're talking Grand Forks or if you're talking Bismarck. Go north of town to get away from the big city lights, to have fewer lights north of you, because we look north to see the Northern Lights. So you look north, and sometimes you see it as a white hue, like this one, but there is some color evident in there. When you take a picture of it, if you take a normal picture, you're not going to see the colors. It'll be like what you see with the naked eye. To really see some of the more faint displays that happen, you can extend the amount of time that your shutter is open on your camera. Try it. You got to hold the camera really, really still, which is hard for Hutch, right? But if you hold the camera still or put it on a tripod and you give it an extended exposure time of, say, 3 to 4 seconds, or maybe as long as 20 seconds, look what you see when you do that, and upload your photos, because it's going to be magnificent. Isn't that awesome? So the time frame on this, there's a timestamp on there. This is live. You're looking at the University of North Dakota's Aurora cameras out there. Thanks to them for doing it. There is some green showing through. There'll be a chance of this tonight in northern Minnesota and the Red River Valley, and even the James River Valley, because the satellite showed that those clouds are not there yet. So real-time update on the Aurora, because you asked. How cool is that? I think that's pretty cool. It's about as cool as the temperatures are out there in the northern plains. So now let's go ahead and take a peek. Well, I got numbers everywhere here because I moved things around. So let's get back out to the radar. Real quickly, if you are in Minot, we got storms moving into your neck of the woods right now. It's probably getting soggy for some of you out there who've been watching from Minot. I'd love to know what you're seeing. Mohall, you got this backward C shape to things. This is often associated with a line that's doing what's called bowing as it's moving through. And that's caused by the wind speeds pushing the storms out ahead and accelerating them. They've been moving at an average speed of 50 to 60 miles per hour from south to northeast. So that's the general movement of the storm. And because that's the movement of the storms, that means that this storm here is not moving right to Bismarck, as is typically the case. A lot of times we get these moving west to east. That's not what's going on here. They will get to Bismarck. It's going to take a lot longer. Did you see the new radar display come in? So what's going on is these are moving northward, the individual storms more northerly. And because of that, it's going to take this whole line a little bit longer than that you would expect to get to Bismarck. But overnight, I'm thinking as we go in towards about the midnight time frame, there'll be an increased chance in Bismarck at seeing some of these storms. And they will make their way up into the Devil's Lake Basin sometime in the early morning to mid-morning hours. And I better erase my color crayons here before I get carried away. Whoop, there we go again, getting carried away. Okay, so that's what's going on. Let's take a look at your current wind gusts across the region right now. These storms are gusty. And let's see if we can plot those. Oh, that's the wrong number there. Oh, I see what I'm doing. Okay, here we go. So here's the wind speed first. That'll plot on these numbers. And they're these little wind barbs. So in Bismarck right now, you got a south wind at 10-25 knots. So every full barb is 10 knots. So 10-25. You're learning how to read meteorology here. Let me click on that for you, and I'll show you what the gusts are at the Bismarck station, at the Bismarck National Weather Service office, South Bismarck down there near Lincoln, and at the airport. 81 degrees is a temperature. What? That's ridiculous. It's warm there. And the winds are gusting to 44 miles per hour. You see that down here? 44-mile-per-hour gusts in Bismarck right now, and the dew point is 54 degrees with storms on their way. Minot right now, if we look at your station measurements, we've got 57 degrees for the dew point, but 77 your temperature. That's about to slide away, as we were just telling you. Gusts are 25 miles per hour, not as strong. But look what's going on here as we look out to the west here, just a little bit of Minot near Newtown and Stanley. So Stanley's reporting 64 degrees with a 38-mile-per-hour gust there. So still some gusty south winds with the storms here. What's going on in Fargo? We're gusting to 30 miles per hour right now. Let me push this over so you too can read along with me. 18-mile-per-hour winds gusting to 30 miles per hour. It's 77 degrees in Grand Forks right now. Your gusts are 16 miles per hour. So if you're going outside to check out the northern lights, you're going to have a little bit of wind to deal with in many locations. And the closer this front gets to you, the stronger the winds will be as they work their way through. So wind has been the main thing with these storms tonight. We did have some hail that was reported in some parts of southeast Montana. That's about it. We're looking at what's going on for you folks nationally down here, and we do have the leftovers of Francine here, and it's parked, folks, and it looks like it's going to park here overnight. Memphis, Cape Girardeau, this area's been seeing rain all night long, and it's going to continue to fester in these areas. Earlier, when I did an update, I think it was in the 5 o'clock hour, I was talking about the rainfall estimates by the Doppler radar here being upwards of 3 to 5 inches, and it's still raining heavily in these parts. So we have Birmingham, Alabama seeing showers and thunderstorms make their way through. And as we take a look at the latest with regards to watches in the area, there was a tornado watch earlier tonight down in Alabama. That looks like it's been allowed to expire in that area. We still have a thunderstorm watch in effect, but as you can see here in North Dakota, there's the thunderstorm watch. Most of these storms have exited the watch area. South Dakota has the most potent storms right now, particularly south of the Black Hills. That's where I'm seeing the strongest storms right now, moving out of Hot Springs and towards Wall, right on Interstate 90. So be prepared for some pretty windy, nasty storms working their way out of the Rapid City area toward Wall, Faith, and the Lake Oahe area of South Dakota, rather, as we go into the deep hours of the overnight. That's a look at what's going on right now. My gut tells me I don't think we're going to see too much in the way of severe overnight. I think we could have some strong thunderstorms that are windy. That's the number one risk. Keep that in mind. Double checking your questions before I check out and go get myself a little bit of din because it's time to feed the tummy. It's a rumbly. There's a rumbly in my tumbly. Let me see your questions. All right, you guys are the goodest. Larry says the weather in War Road is 71 degrees, breezy, partly cloudy, and the weather's dry outside. Watched for years, and I appreciate you very much, Larry, and I'm glad you found me right here. I love delivering the weather. War Road is a beautiful town. I've had my kids up there playing hockey, and it's a lot of fun. Thief River checking in as well. Good to have you on board. And yeah, I think that's it. So if you get a chance, get out and see the Northern Lights. Can you see them from where you are? Take your time. Upload some pictures when they come and get ready for some storms in the valley tomorrow. Checking for some comments or questions on the national channel. Sean, good to have you. Tropical Storm Gordon is going to form soon. And indeed, yeah, we've got a tropical system that's working its way across a lot of different areas right now. There's one on the west side as well. So things are getting a little bit interesting as, well, the Gulf is still pretty warm out there at this time of the year. So we got some tropical weather to be concerned about. As we look at what's going on right now, you can see the remnants of good old Francine still wreaking havoc. And there's a band of thunderstorms heading right up into the Carolinas right now as well, with Florida starting to see things quiet down just a pinch. And that's the same thing goes with some nice offshore flow in places like Houston and Dallas. That northerly flow bringing some drier air in after a terrible few days of weather there. All right, that's a look at your weather. I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson. Remember, you can share your photos by uploading them at hutchesweather.com. I'd sure love to see you visit that. Let me know your thoughts on these broadcasts and let me know if you have an idea for that. I need you to follow me on Facebook so you get notifications when I'm going on, and it really does help. Push the subscribe button if you're watching on my YouTube channel. I really love to see the numbers going up there as well. Thanks so very much for your attention. I'll continue to monitor the storms, but for now, I'm going to grab me a burger, and I'll be back if necessary tonight to continue to cover the storms as they move through North Dakota. Have a wonderful evening, and we'll talk again soon if the storms get severe.